New York Times came out with a story today about Jameis Winston's alleged rape incident, being alleged that he was the culprit of it, and all the shortcomings that came of the investigation. And New York Times says that they're so horrible that there might be a chance that federal charges could be coming Tallahassee's police way and even the university's way. And I'm just going to read a little bit of it. And it says, in his announcements, the prosecutor, this is when they said that Winston wouldn't be charged, said that acknowledged a number of shortcomings in the police investigation. In fact, an examination by the New York Times has found that there was virtually no investigation at all, either by police or the university. The police did not follow the obvious leads, have quickly identified the suspect, one of whom videotaped part of the sexual encounter. So they have videotape out there, and they did not even question the man or female. They didn't even interview Jameis Winston once he was named as a suspect. The police did not even attempt to interview him for nearly 2 weeks and never obtained DNA from him when they had DNA on the female's underwear. The detective didn't even waited 2 months to file his first report and suspended his report and didn't even tell the victim that he was going to do that. And probably the most shocking, it said a month before before the story even broke that he was alleged for this back a while ago, another female came up and accused Jameis Winston of unfair advancements. She said that they did have sex. She did not say no to him, but she said she needed counseling because the altercation just was bad. She said it
didn't go the way she had planned.
I guess not. But this is surprising that this is happening. To me, it is, and I don't know. I don't know what's going to come of it, but I think Tallahassee needs to worry a little bit.
Yeah, this is crazy. I'm reading some of the excerpts from here. When they contacted Jameis Winston, like you said, it was 2 weeks. They waited so long, and they called him by telephone. Since when? Like, first of all, personally, I've never been brought in by the cops. Thank you, oh Lord. But I've watched a lot of Law and Order in my day. Okay, and every time I see somebody even being a suspect, the cops, my homegirl Mariska Hargitay, always gotta give her a shout out. Law and Order SVU, you know what it is. Olivia Benson. Okay. They get the people, and they come up to him, get him in the cop car. They talk to him in the interrogation room. I've never heard somebody being contacted by phone, as if he's just going to say on the phone, yeah, I did it. Like, what? Yeah. What are they trying to order a pizza or something? I don't know why they called him on the phone. And then, let's see what else here. Oh, they talked about the guy who had the, like you said, who did the recording. Because supposedly I don't know her name, the accuser, said that somebody had recorded it. And his name was Chris. It turns out it was a player, Chris Casher. But by the time the authorities had talked to him, he already deleted the video from his phone. So it seems like they're not really taking this serious, which I've seen other people who have studied, rape cases and looked into that a lot of times, even without athletes, that this is something that's not like, people don't jump on this the way that they should. It doesn't have a level of importance all the time, which is really sad. Because, that's obviously not something to play with. And then on top of that, you add that it's Florida State, all about football. So these athletes are getting the benefit of the doubt. And this one thing, this ain't necessarily even relative to just this case. I never understand why athletes even have, things with sexual assault come up in their name. Okay, let me phrase that differently. I understand maybe from a point if somebody is trying to scheme them out of money. But the other side of it, you ain't got to chase no women, man. You're an athlete that... And most of the time, that is well-known, like Darren Sharper. Okay, first of all of us in here like women a lot. That's number one, okay? So don't take this the wrong way. But Darren Sharper is a good-looking brother. Like, I think we can just say that. Darren Sharper keeps himself clean, all right? Got the nice fade,
So
the
you're
goatee
asking-
always kept.
You're asking why does he have to force?
Yes,
someone?
yes, I don't
Okay.
understand this. Cause like, come on, I was a fan of Darren Sharper his whole time
Yeah,
in the
he was a
league.
Packer, a long-time Packer.
Packers, Saints, Viking. I wanted him to come to Dallas. I remember they was talking to him for a minute. What do you got to chase women for? And if you chasing them, okay, maybe you like to chase. Why you got to force yourself on them? I don't understand that. Because there's some people who just, quite frankly, they dropping their draws for the athletes. I mean, that's just what it is. They dropping the draws, and I don't understand why if he about getting the draws, why he just don't take them in a kind, respectable manner. I don't understand that. But, I mean, maybe that's just me. I don't know what goes on in these people's head.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Darius. I don't understand it because at least going to Western and seeing what goes on here with our not-so-good football team, I think that's a fair statement. But I don't know. It's just I think that shows Jameis Winston's character. If I'm a team, he's eligible. Next year? He just has to do one more year.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm taking him, despite even if he wins the Heisman again, he's got to be the front runner if he's eligible. I don't know if I'm taking. I don't want somebody like that on my team. Who now there's 2 potential cases against him, and I think one, it doesn't surprise me if this was covered up.
Yeah.
I remember watching the press conference, all the news going up to them like, please don't be a cover up. Please don't be a cover up. Like I want some credibility in college sports
and
again.
And then when you saw it, goes like, okay,
I
understand.
bought
like,
it.
okay,
Yeah.
I thought it was investigated. Now we're finding out that it wasn't even investigated.
Yeah.
And then this, I don't know if you were here when I was talking to him about it, but the president of the university, 25% of his salary comes from the booster club.
I think that statement right there is why it's sad that I'm not surprised that this came out.
Yeah,
I'm not at all. Not at all surprised.
When you find that out, because like, I don't think that happens at most universities. I guess we need to talk to Jack Thomas.
I think it goes back to what we saw from Miami a few years ago when we had Miami. That guy got in trouble for giving benefits to the players.
Oh,
He
yeah,
paid
Shapiro,
strippers to get abortions from the players' kids. They were the players' kids at Miami, and he paid for abortions. I'm like, this is just I think what college sports is. There's a show out there. You should definitely donate to the Kickstarter. For one, BMS, Blue Mountain State, if you watch that. It's an over-exaggeration, over-dramatized version of what college sports is. It's not to that extreme, but you watch it and the core element is kind of, I think, true for Division I college sports, and specifically football, also maybe basketball. I think that's true. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's hilarious, for one. It's one of my favorite shows. It's a comedy. It is hilarious, and donate to the Kickstarter so we can have a movie. It deserves a movie. But I think that kind of sums up what college sports, Division I football, is to an extent. They get away with anything they want. They don't have to go to class. I remember reading an article a few years back now about Rogers Cromartie, who went to Florida State, and they said he had a first-grade reading level, yet he passed all the classes while he was there. No, he was making millions of dollars at the time as an elite quarterback in the NFL. And it doesn't surprise me. This is what college sports is right now, because the saying proves true in this: mo money, mo problems. And college sports, specifically football, rakes in cash. Like Florida State made millions upon millions of dollars, not just by the grants they get for winning the championship, but the big money is in that merchandise sales. And just think of all the national championship T-shirts they sold from winning it all. And that's basically what I got to say. If I'm doing the hashtag game on Sports Nation right now for this, I just say hashtag mo money, mo problems, because that's what it is.
Well, the story they did on Big East basketball for 30 on 30, they were showing how much Syracuse basketball made, and it's a good program, and you'll disagree.
No, it's a good program.
It's a good program, but it showed how much money it brought and how much crappy Syracuse football brought. And it was just, I think, 5 times?
Yeah.
At least 5 times the amount of money that Syracuse football brought into the basketball. And I'm going, there's something wrong. They can't police themselves. I don't know if they're ever going to be able to.
If you're an administrator, I wrote a couple papers while I was at College of DuPage, my first year of school, about the NCAA. And even the NCAA, not just them, but if you're one of these administrators at the school, or even the head coach, like Saban makes millions of dollars. I don't know what it is, but you're making millions of dollars off these kids. You're essentially, if you like suspend Winston for the championship game, bye-bye, like my $10 million bonus.
Exactly.
Bye-bye. Who's going to do that? Who honestly could sit here and say, oh, yeah, I would do that? I don't know if I could. Don't know if I could.
I mean, you got to be proven guilty if I was going to do that. I ain't throwing $10 million on those, suspicions.
Yeah. So I don't know if anything's going to change. I wish it would. It's just nowadays of just scandals are better news, and that's I want to see just clean programs. and it's gonna.
I don't know if you will.
Must say,
No,
I really don't
never
know
gonna
if you
see
ever
it.
will.
We ain't never gonna see that.
Or I don't want to see stories of character being brought out either. You think somebody that professional? I still have that idea of professional. You should not be acting a certain way, like Alden Smith. Professional should not.
Oh
be
yeah, I
having
agree with you. Absolutely.
that stuff. And it's the same thing with this. You're a professional on campus, even though you're
Yeah.
20 years old, but you're the face of an organization that is
Multi-million-dollar
making,
organization.
I know. Is it because you're probably not making money? Yeah.
Yeah.
But need to grow up. Or football teams. I'd like to see more NFL teams say, no, see ya. We're going to pass you. Even though we need a quarterback and you're the best quarterback that we could possibly get, we're going to say no because we don't like your character.
Yeah. I just think that's why I think the NCAA needs to not necessarily pay the players, but quote pay the players. Like they just did the thing because Shabazz Napier said he was starving, and now they get the free meals, which that should be a thing. Why it isn't already doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But that's why the NCAA, I just think, needs to embrace the beast they have created and just not necessarily, like I said, give them a salary, but let's just, quote, pay the players, end quote. And I think you'll see a lot of this, maybe not go away, but I think it'll subdue a bit because you're giving them what they want. Mm-hmm. And I think it'll just make life easier for them. And then you can hold them to a higher standard. Like, okay, you're getting incentives, you're getting this, you're getting that. You're kind of a professional now, so you need to carry yourself like a professional. And I think it'd be easier to discipline them as well if you did that.
Yes.
Like you could take certain things away from them or whatnot, and so if they want their food or whatever, they got to behave. If they want those extra incentives.